and welcome back to Your American Story, FM News Talk 1047. This is your host, Raja. And joining me right now is Colin Huwyler, co-founder and CEO of Optimus Technologies. Optimus designs and manufactures next-generation biofuel systems and is focused on the deployment of bolt-on modular diesel-to-biofuel conversion system built specifically for commercial and industrial diesel engines. The format for the running of the Bolts contest is Colin's going to go first. He's going to have 4 minutes to make his pitch. Then we're going to turn this over to the judges, who each have 3 minutes, and then it goes back to Colin for a 1-minute close. Daryl, our radio show producer, will be our timekeeper, hold out a yellow sign a minute before the time runs out, a red sign when time's done, and you get 15 seconds grace, at which point he'll hold up a stop sign. At this point, Colin, I'm going to turn this over to you. You have 4 minutes.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. Hi, my name, again, is Colin Huwyler, and I'm CEO of Optimus Technologies. At Optimus, we design and manufacture fuel systems that enable diesel engines to operate on cleaner-burning, renewable fuels. This is my second startup, both of which have focused on bringing to market sustainable solutions that present the customer with a very compelling financial return. The price of diesel fuel is incredibly volatile, and over the past few years has been consistently climbing. These increased costs directly impact the bottom line of businesses ranging from distribution companies that deliver bread to our grocery stores to bus fleets that have an ever-decreasing budget to ensure our kids make it to school safely. So again, we build fuel systems that enable diesel engines to operate on renewable fuels. Our system is a combination of hardware and software, which allows vehicles to operate on anything from 100% biodiesel to vegetable oils and animal fats. The technology is fuel neutral, so customers can use anything and change fuels seamlessly. It's engineered to accommodate new fuels, such as synthetics and algae oil, as they're developed and come to market. And the great thing about the fuels that our system can use is they can be readily sourced, they're domestically produced, and on average, they cost between 50 cents and $1 less than the price of traditional diesel. So that's right. It's 50 cents to $1 cheaper than what they could purchase traditional diesel for. And in addition to the significant fuel cost savings, our system also improves the vehicle's fuel economy and significantly reduces the emissions. Our target customers are large commercial users of diesel fuel, and our system's compatible with anything ranging from trucks and buses to heavy equipment that would be used in the construction or mining industries. Approximately 60 million commercial diesel engines are in use in the U.S. today. And of this, we're focusing on some beachhead markets, which are transportation and distribution-based companies utilizing a certain type of engine. The beachhead markets represent about $5 billion market opportunity, and in this, we're working directly with the fleet managers of these companies to help them reduce their fuel costs. Just a quick example, a company with 50 trucks that would each use about 20,000 gallons of fuel annually could see an estimated savings of about $1 million on a yearly basis. Our primary competition comes from compressed natural gas retrofits. However, an equivalent compressed natural gas system ranges between $50,000 and $70,000 versus our system, which is on average about $9,000 installed. Unlike compressed natural gas, our system is a bolt-on retrofit, so it doesn't require an engine rebuild or replacement. And another key differentiator between our technology and compressed natural gas is that the fuels compatible with our system can utilize and be pumped from existing diesel stations rather than requiring a completely new refueling station, which for compressed natural gas typically costs between $3 and $6 million. As a bolt-on retrofit, our technology maintains the original diesel fuel components to enable the engine to operate on traditional diesel in the event that biofuels are unavailable. We currently have 1 international patent pending and 3 more under development. We have 30 systems in operation with customers from the city of Pittsburgh to Giant Eagle, and these customers are using fuels that are produced right here in Western Pennsylvania. To date, we've been funded primarily by pilot deployments, which have generated about $500,000 in revenue, as well as a number of angels, including Idea Foundry. We're currently seeking $400K to expand our team, develop our sales pipeline, and scale up our production. We expect commitments that will cover about half of that. I appreciate your time, and with that, I'll take questions.
Yeah. Thank you, Colin. Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard Colin pitch to our judges on the running of the Bulls contest on Your American Story. We have the order of judges already drawn in advance, and I think it's Mel. You get to go first.
Thank you, Roger. Colin, if I understood what you were saying, then you've got something that will cost $9,000 or $10,000 and will give a payback to the customer in a half a year?
Depending on the fuel consumption, anywhere from 6 months to a year is our target customer's return.
Okay, and I like it a lot that you have customers now. So are the customers that you have, you mentioned Giant Eagle in the city of Pittsburgh, I think, are they continuing to retrofit or get your installation, your kit on additional vehicles that they own?
So we're in the early stages of deployment with those customers. They have been using them for a while now, and we do have letters of interest for additional follow-on systems.
Is that mild interest or crazy interest?
That's I'd say somewhere in the middle there. We're working with them to ensure the technology is demonstrated and operating as we've developed it. And based upon successful implementation, I think that we have a strong opportunity for large-scale rollout to both of those customers.
Okay. I also know that there are some reasonably good-sized trucking companies here in town. I know you're down in the Strip District, and there's at least one, if not more, that are headquartered down there. What are those trucking companies saying about using this?
We're in the process right now of validating our technology through the EPA, which enables us to sell to specific engines. And so we've been focused on deploying the technology with fleets that have those particular engines, and we've gotten positive responses from trucking companies and commercial entities that are deploying those engines particularly.
Okay, and how are you selling this? Are you do you have a direct sales team that you're employing? Are you the sales guy?
Yeah, thus far I've been the sales guy, and we're looking as we scale up to implement a direct sales model. So we've been looking at direct sale to the customer, establishing a pilot project, and then the follow-on sale is much easier after they've demonstrated the technology and seen the return. And we'd hand over the installation of the product to their technicians so that we can aggressively scale within the fleets.
And what do you see is going to be the sales cycle from when you first call up that next customer to when they actually have said, let's install, that pilot test?
Our estimates right now are about 3 to 6 months.
Okay. All right. Great. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Mel. Next up is Alicia. I'm going to turn this over to her.
Thank you, Colin. Biofuel is such a fascinating topic, and I can't wait till it's really, really much more in play. But like when I pull up to the pumps, there's no biofuel option there at Exxon or wherever. So what is that whole distribution story at this point? I mean, how readily available is biofuel?
So based on our deployment, we're looking at commercial customers that use dedicated refueling stations. So our target customers wouldn't actually pull up to the traditional convenience store to refuel their vehicles. They typically have dedicated stations either at their home site or on their path. And so it makes the infrastructure requirement significantly less for these customers. And what we've been doing is actually, because they can utilize existing diesel stations for the biofuels, typically we're utilizing a portion of their existing refueling station. And so that makes the sourcing challenge essentially nominal, and all they need to do is call up a biofuel distributor and ask them to deliver a particular fuel rather than diesel.
Has that chain been fairly reliable?
We're early on in the process, but it has been. And we estimate right now there's approximately 1 billion gallons of fuel availability in the United States. So we have a significant room for growth to the point where we cap the availability and the reliability of those systems.
And are the types of fuel, is it still sort of in flux as far as which is the most efficient? Like you mentioned vegetable oil. Animal fat, like pounded bacon, sort of type.
Yeah, so the nice thing about our technology is that it is fuel neutral. So it's designed to accommodate any of the fuels that I mentioned. And from a customer perspective, the only difference is a software change. So if they're using vegetable oils today, and it could be waste vegetable oil procured from the food service industry to plant oils that are being grown in arid climates. There's a crop called jatropha. It's a non-food crop that has a very high yield. And so the only difference between utilizing these fuels is a minor software modification in the control system of our technology.
Have you found that your customers question you along these lines as well, as far as how available this source really is?
That's definitely something we see early on, and we can bring to them a handful of distributors that all sell the product. So it enables us to kind of vet that early on.
Mm-hmm. You have some modifications already out on the road. They're running.
Correct. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we have approximately 30 systems currently in operation, and we're evaluating those, refining the technology for our commercialization and scale up.
And none of them have been sent back to you?
Not yet.
Cool.
Thank you, Alicia. And next up, our next judge is Roger. And ladies and gentlemen, listening to Running with the Bulls on Your American Story.
So, Colin, you mentioned, I think, the EPA. Are there any regulatory hurdles that you face?
The EPA does require emission validation of any system that is installed aftermarket. So we're currently in that process right now, and we expect that that'll be finalized in September.
And are there other biofuel retrofit companies in the U.S.?
In the U.S., there are about 5 companies that produce a biofuel retrofit product. These companies are primarily focused on passenger vehicles and light-duty vehicles. They do not have the EPA validations that are required to commercialize the product. And so that's one of the things we're looking at as a significant competitive advantage.
Okay. And won't the price of biofuel go up if more people get interested in it?
So there's a significant amount of fuels and feedstock available, and the biofuels typically do trend with market prices. So it may go up as the price of diesel climbs, but if diesel goes up 5 cents, the biofuels might only go up 2 or 3 cents. So that delta between 50 cents and $1 will typically maintain constant. And in the crazy event that it didn't, the system enables use of traditional diesel at any time. So if the customer had a period of a few weeks where they were using traditional diesel, it's completely compatible.
And you said that your target customers have a certain type of engine. How did you pick that engine, and why?
So we've initially focused on the international Navistar DT466 engine, and that engine is the commercial workhorse. So there's approximately 500,000 of those engines in the U.S. On the road today. And in the commercial market, that's probably the largest single engine that's on the road. And so we've identified that as our beachhead market.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years, and I tell you, I learned a lot from the judges today. Very insightful questions, and this is sort of how this works. So you're getting to see sort of inside look at how investments are evaluated and made. At this point, Colin, I'm going to turn this back to you for a 1-minute close.
Great, thank you. So I'll just recap in saying, we're in the process right now of raising $400,000, and our primary goal with that is to expand our team and develop our sales pipeline. So we have 30 systems currently in operation. Those systems have enabled us to validate the market and demonstrate the technology. We're currently looking to hire a sales director. We expect that with that, we'll be able to scale to cash flow positive next year, and we anticipate revenues of about $9 million in 3 years.
Thank you, Colin, and thank you, judges. Ladies and gentlemen, if you liked what Colin had to say, you can make an impact too. This program is going to make an impact on the jobs and the growth in our region. You can make an impact by voting for Colin. Go to youramericanstory.com, and you have a week. And the winner of the audience listener's choice gets $2,500 cash, in addition to a whole bunch of other doors that are going to be open. At this point, we're going to come to the close of our segment here. Again, Colin and judges, thank you for your participation. We're going to go to a commercial break right now. This is your host, Raja, and I'll be right back.